I made some mood boards. In no particular order, first up is cooking the tank. Take your standard sporty tank top, but just with like a little bit of pizzazz. A little jewel attachment, a little layering, a little cutout. So I'm gonna try to find a tank top. Next trend I'm seeing is all about the sheer layers. Not really providing any additional warmth, but just like flowy pizzazz. Lots of earthy tones, lots of swoosh and drape. I think I'm gonna hit up the curtain section. Also seeing a lot of plaid. I feel like an under index in my wardrobe in plaid, so I kind of want to take this as a challenge. This Bottega look has a tapered waist, plaid on plaid with acne, probably heading to the men's shirt section. Now this one is probably one of the louder fashion choices. I've got some of the strip style fringe, ornamental fringe, but particularly this yarny, shaggy Zuckerberg's dog. I have an idea of how this would work out as a thrift flip, but I'm hesitating at the time commitment. We'll see about this one. This last one maybe has a very broad definition, but like castle core, medieval core, it covers like a lot of different things. All the way from knight in shining armor, corsets, capes, frills, Nosferatu, all the way to like literally channeling a castle. Really don't know what I'm gonna find to fit this category, but you know, that's why we have a mood board. Did make one more slide that included colors and prints to look for in case you're less of a flipper and more just want thrifting inspiration. There's a link in the description where I put all these mood boards together in one place, easy for you guys to find. It's a Substack. Let me know what you guys think of the Substack name. I was trying to do something. This time going, it has been over a year since I went thrifting child-free, and one of the ways I am celebrating my freedom is with today's sponsor, Parade. They specialize in underwear and basics, and I have been so excited to ditch my nursing bras and get back to cute, comfy underwear that is just for me. I'm gonna share more about Parade later, but here is how I did at the thrift store. Found these cowl neck options in black and brown. I'm trying to decide which color I prefer, and I probably can style it forwards or backwards, which is nice. This blue curtain was such an ideal color. It doesn't have any curtain hardware, so it's just literally a giant piece of cloth for 10 bucks. I had a few options to choose from here. Ideally, I want something oversized so there's a bit more fabric to work with. I also found these two shirts that had details that I appreciated, so this long string of buttons is generally a bit tedious to do yourself, so it's nice that it's already done for you. The lace cuffs is also an interesting feature, and then this is just like a cute cotton shirt with a oversized collar. I do love that it has a bit of decorative trim on the edges to add a bit of sweetness.
Is this yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is? Yeah. It's so cute.
Thanks. As always, had to try things on a whole bunch of times to make my decision, but I think I'm ready to check out. This is the silver bracelet that I found. Assessing the shirt. It has some bagginess that I want to eventually address. Here's how it looks forwards. Here's how it looks backwards. Maybe a little off-shoulder moment is possible. But first, let's just get the accessorizing out of the way. I'm just gonna cut it right open here on the shoulder. Whoop. Gonna sew these shut. I'm using a stretch overlock stitch to seal the raw edges, and then checking how much I need to fold to fit the bracelet. I use a stretch stitch to sew the channel in place. Same thing with the other side, folding it over to make a channel, sewing that in place with a stretch stitch. I flipped it inside out to get an idea of how much fabric I wanted to take in on the sides. You might notice I actually cut out the garment label so that I could re-sew it into the side seam. In the past, I've never really regarded the labels while doing thrift flips, but if you have time for it, it's a nice way to keep the garment information with you. After 2 passes through the machine, I think I got it to the width that I want. I was about to cut off the excess when I realized I really should be using my serger for this. I'm doing that trick that I covered in a previous video when I was reviewing different sewing hacks that are floating around the internet. This is the one for changing your thread color without re-threading your whole machine. From white to black. I don't know if you can even see that. I think I want to use the 3-thread super stretch. So I'm gonna make the adjustments they say. I just do whatever it says. Yellow, 4.5. Green, 4. Blue, nothing. So I snipped it clean. Red, 3. Oh. I want the rolled hem in the up position. I need the UL converter. Where's that little guy at? Here. I love that it's hiding in the door. I forget where this goes. Oh, here. Yeah, it goes here. There we go. The width is at 6. Turn this dial to get to 6. SL at 2.5, DF at 1. Could I tell you how any of those impact the stitch style? No, I'm not at that level of expertise yet. Oops, I gotta put this back in. Let's go. Ooh, let me show you the label. Feels professional. Okay, and after 2 little stitches, your work here is done. I undid the cover stitching along the bottom edge so I could get my side seams in nice and clean. So now the last step is to reclose those bottom hems. All done. I didn't have a pattern to work off of for this one, so instead I took a whole bunch of measurements of various circumferences along key points of my body. I drew a long center spine line, I suppose, and the various circumferences are running horizontally. So there's the neck hole, this is where the arms pop out, my waist, my hips, trying to do a bit of a high-low hem like in the inspiration. Then I connected it all, kind of arbitrary, just trying to figure out a curve that is safe and makes sense. I'm gonna fold this whole thing in half down the spine, cut it out, and get that onto fabric. Everything was symmetrical except for the bottom hem. This is the slope of the neckline, you see that? And the 2 armholes. This is what I'll be cutting out along the bias of the fabric. Okay, we do have a problem. This is not quite long enough to meet the vision of this all being one dress. I think I'm gonna join 2 pieces together to make this dress, hopefully hide the waist seam with some of the draping. While I cut this up, I'll tell you real quick about Parade. So they have a specific fabric that really interested me, which is their replay fabric. I have it here in black. I got it in 2 bralettes and the matching briefs. This is a certified recycled fabric made from rescued production materials. I've been trying to see how I can dress more sustainably in every layer of my outfits, and this kind of just fit the bill perfectly. Of course, most importantly, it is super comfortable, lightweight, easy for every day. They also have lots of great colors. You can see the new Scoop bralette. I have it in Crown Blue, and in the original Scoop bralette, 8-ball. For fit reasons, I'm usually not a fan at all of bra shopping online, but I followed their size guide exactly and it worked out perfectly. The price is very reasonable. Everything is buttery soft, and I love that they even include things like lots of hook and eye closures, so you can get the perfect comfortable fit. If you guys want to check it out yourself, as always, link in the description, and you can use my code WITHWENDY30 for 30% off site-wide at Parade. A top half folded on the bias. Gonna attach that to a skirt. Gonna go with a French seam to make sure that there's absolutely no unraveling over time with this chiffon. Of course, right off the bat, I got topsy-turvy and sewed the incorrect sides together, but I think it's because I can't really tell if there's a right side or wrong side with this fabric. Hello, Sagwa. Whenever it's hard for me to tell, I guess luckily it'll be hard for everyone else to tell. Once I got it all sorted, here's how my French seams went. Matching up the fabric at the end and sewing wrong sides together. Trimming the excess seam allowance. Pressing the seam down. Flipping the seam to sew right sides together. Finishing it off with one last press. Still hard to see if it's coming together, but the next step is to sew all the side seams together. I think I'm gonna do a French seam again. It was a smart choice the first time, shouldn't let me down a second time. All right, I finally partially finished one side, and I kind of have a bad feeling about this. Oh no! There's no way I'm getting a zipper in here. I'll be so locked in, I won't be able to move. So I intended to bunch up this side for some draping. Okay, what if we pivot? Make like a poncho? I really should make this out of a stretch material next time. You know what? We're gonna go ahead with this. I'm opening up the armholes a little bit for some more movement, and I had to close off the sides with French seams. I had gone through all the effort of getting a matching invisible zipper, but we might not need it. I did panic and make a second pattern, and then I realized I don't even have enough fabric to pull through with this, so we're committing. So the sides are now closed. The only thing left open is the bottom. Now, I gotta add a little, I don't know, little like drapes, little movement. To secure the drapes, you could hand stitch, but I went with an even faster and more simple option, which is my little bar tack stitch, reinforcing. And here's how that looks, holding the drapes in place. The adrenaline when you wake up and you know today is finally the day I'm finishing this sewing project. Honestly, every day I think to myself, and then I'll finish that sewing project. But when it's actually the day, I can feel it in my bones. Last night I closed off the bottom hem. You kind of have to flip it and sew as far as you can all the way around, leaving a hole that you pull everything through. Here's that hole for me today. I'm a bit annoyed because two sides don't quite line up. You can see there's more fabric here than here. I'm just gonna unpick it a little bit, massage it back into alignment. I'm just gonna seal it shut by hand. We're gonna press it, and this top is ready. All right. The bracelet opens like that. Slide it in. Snap. Hey! I should try some other things that I have in the house. Came back from a massage. Feels so aligned. I'm gonna try to squeeze in this shot before we have to get the kids from daycare. For that last shoot, I was using this new Prada lipstick they sent me. For this shoot, it's about to get glossy. I just turned on the light and you can definitely see the massage pillow mark on my face. I don't know if we can get rid of that. Should we do the purple? Glittery purple. Glittery brown. Okay. Can't really see it now, but I'll work on it. This lip gloss has like a tingle effect, but I have put so much on my lips that now I think I'm losing them. Okay, I don't think I can feel my face anymore, but this is just part one of a two-parter thrift flip. Stay tuned for the next video. And don't forget to open the description. There's a link to Shop Parade. There's also, like I said, my Substack. I'm gonna wash everything off my face, go do some groceries. See you guys in the next one.